Hello, welcome to the Konnekt-000-7 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. Good morning or evening or night and all that in between, Konnekt-000-7 tribe. I am the host of this amazing podcast. My name is Thaddeus Sims, and today is our 79th episode titled One Reason People Are Amazing. I'm actually really excited to go into this episode because I'm going to take you guys on a little trip of what's been going on lately. So we're going to get into that. But first, there is an announcement. The announcement, if you have heard the previous podcast, the new online course is open for enrollment till October 28th, and that's a Monday. So if you're like, what is he talking about? Don't worry, we're going to get into that. But now we're going to go to our fun fact. The fun fact is the Battle of Hastings didn't take place in Hastings. The famous Battle of Hastings actually took place 7 miles from Hastings in a town that is today known as Battle. Fitting, right? Now, if you're like me, I never heard of this. I'm like, what the heck is the Battle of Hastings? Never heard, don't know nothing about it. I don't even know if I heard of it in any type of class. But I'm sure my listeners who are in England know this, but I don't know this at all. So I was like, let me actually look and see what this is before I just tell people, oh, this is a fun fact. If you don't know it, hey, So let me save you the time. Now, what is the Battle of Hastings? So it's one of the most important battles in English history. It remains to be the Battle of Hastings. This battle was when the last Anglo-Saxon King Harold fell to William the Conqueror during his conquest of England. Even though it took place almost 1,000 years ago, it changed the future of England. So that's what the Battle of Hastings is. I didn't know, so I had to do my research, but now you guys know. So it never took place in Hastings. Well, yeah, it took 7 miles away, which is actually known in a place called Battle. So that is, I guess, ironic, right? So yeah, that's the fun fact. And that was your educational lesson right there in history. Did I pass? I think I passed. Was I good in history? I think I passed history with like B's, maybe. Well, it was like geography. I don't know. Anyways, let us get into this episode. So what is one reason people are amazing? As you guys know, this is the podcast for human connection and connecting with people. So we have to talk about the people, these humanoids, these human beings that we see around us when we go outside and go get our favorite drink or breakfast. There's that human, that species, people, right? Let's talk about them. Why are they, what's one reason? So people can actually take your idea to new levels and help you achieve them. Let's go into this. I'm going to say this slowly, though. Not take your idea as a run off with it, but it can literally take your idea to new levels and help you achieve whatever that idea is that you have. So let's go into this, guys. Now, we're going to talk about this course that I have been talking about. And I need to take you guys back to where this all began. Now, for those of you who have been listening to the podcast since episode 1, you all know it started November 20th. And here we are now. We're actually approaching November pretty soon. And you all know the podcast has been growing, but I sensed it, and other people of the podcast have sensed there's something missing from the podcast. There should be more. And I've been feeling that for months. And I was just like, I don't know what I would do. And a lot of people was telling me about you have the podcast, maybe do something with teaching or coaching some people on some things. And I was just like, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Okay. And so I thought about it and, it took some time. And then finally I was like, you know what? Why not actually, I guess, create like a little online course or something? That's what I thought. Create an online course of the podcast. That was my idea. Let me just create an online course. And hey, that's something I can add to the podcast. Now, I have to admit, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I figured, because I didn't know nothing about online courses, I figured, you know what? I'll make a nice long video and share it, right? Like share it on the topic. And I was sitting down thinking like, okay, what would the topic be? And it just came to me. I was like, okay, well, if I create maybe do something on like really like how to find yourself, right? Something along those lines. And I just thought, okay, let me go with that. I'm actually going to give you some history with that one, but I'll tell you that a little bit later on. So I just figured, hey, I'll make a long video and call it a day. Now, I shared this idea with Priscilla. Now, if you're new to the podcast or you didn't hear it, Priscilla was the guest speaker on episode 73, Finding Your Identity. Now, when I shared this idea with her, she completely blew my mind. She literally took it to a whole new level and then some. So I need to really like walk you through this because this is a journey that I'm taking you on. I was sharing her. I was like, yeah, I'm thinking of adding something new to the podcast. This is my idea. She was like, well, why don't you create, something better? I'm like, huh? He was like, yeah, like you can add this to your podcast. Maybe do like a membership with the course. You can have a community that you can build and just like help other people with this. So that way, when they're in it, they can have people that they can talk with. And then after that, you can add this to your site. And mind you, all these ideas were great. And I just felt like such a small person because I'm just like, wow, she really took this to a whole new level. Like I feel like an ant because she just took my idea and just blew it up to something much bigger. And once your mind has been introduced to something bigger, it can't go back. It just can't go back to a small space. And it just blew my mind. Now, when I say I felt like an ant, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean I felt bad. Like this actually this she took it to a level where it's just like, wow, this is huge. Okay, I feel so small. And I was just laughing with her. Like she really took this idea. Like you have a superpower because I'm usually the one someone may share an idea and we collab with. But for me to give you one of my ideas and you make it much bigger, I feel like an ant. That's a superpower that you have, right? And now we have this running joke where I'm like, okay, before I share an idea with her, let me make sure I'm ready because I may think this is really, really good. And she's going to be like, yeah, it could be better. And it really is. And I want to tell you guys, it's not like in a space where it's like nagging or complaining or anything like that. It's just one of those when you share it with a person, like they literally just like have love like for you and they see bigger things for you. And that was just her energy was just like, oh, yeah, okay, I heard what you're saying. But hey, why not do this, that, and the other? And that was just like, whoa, OK. Now, she helped me with that. And that changed the game for me. I was just like, OK, well, let me look into this whole thing. Let me look into the website with it, which, by the way, the website is going to be under construction. So yeah, if you go in there, I don't know what it's going to say, but it's going to be under construction. So just a heads up on that. But anyways, at the time, I was just like, yeah, let me go in there and see this, that, and the other. And I was just like, okay, I could probably add it to the website. But I was talking with her. I'm like, yeah, but the website is kind of weird. So adding it there I don't know if it'll be able to handle the capabilities of what we're talking about. So it required me to look into other things. Now, when you have an idea and it expands, your idea is going to have you explore other different realms of things that you've never done before. So I was like looking up maybe online, like course creators, different things like that. And I did find something, and I had shared a little snippet to let people know. If you are following me on any of the social medias, you've probably seen like a Konnekt 000-7 Academy, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with this. But ideas that, they transform and they grow and they, different things. So I looked into it. I was like, okay, maybe this. Played around with it. I was like, okay, I could do this. So I just went through this whole exploration of things while, creating the podcast and sharing with her and different things like that. Now, time goes on and I'm thinking, all right, I'll probably just record a video, do it like a course, like a simple course, and record myself, give people, homework, different things like that. So this was something that I was going to do, but my intuition was just like, yeah, don't record yet. And I'm just like, okay, what do you mean? Like, let's get this ball rolling. And it's like, no, don't record. I'm like, all right. So some time passed and I think I seen a post. I seen a post from my good friend Darius. And Darius, he put a post about he was moving somewhere. And I'm like, you moving? Like, what the hell you mean you moving? Like, you just moved to where you're at. I'm not gonna put his business out there now, but I'm like, you just moved to where you're at. What do you mean you're moving? Like, to somewhere else? And it wasn't like a bad move, like he was forced. It was like a good move. This was like an awesome move. It was just a different change. So I seen him post that or a video and I heard him say that and I just called him and we're in different time zones, so he's 13 hours ahead of me. So I was like, let me get this boy a call because I haven't talked to him anyways. If you don't know who Darius is, Darius actually is from the episode 71 where I interviewed him. So that's so you guys can put a face to a name. Now, I was talking to Darius, he was just catching up. I'm like, what do you mean you're moving? We was talking and I was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, so we just got to talking. I just happened to tell him like, yeah, dude, so I'm working on like creating a course. And he was like, you are? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, and then he was just giving me a bunch of like ideas to do with the course. And he was telling me there's a person that you need to check out when it comes to doing the course. Now, mind you, I completely forgot that Darius was already creating online courses and has been successful in this. I did not think of Darius. You would have thought that probably should have been the first person you talked to. I didn't think about it because Darius is like in a whole different place right now. And I just didn't think about it, right? And so we just happened to talk and you're starting to see how, I guess, the universe starts to bring things together, right? And Darius was just giving me all of these like golden like things to do, like they were just golden nuggets. And I was just like, okay, this is different. So what he was telling me was completely different than what I thought I was going to do. I was like, oh, I'm gonna record a video. And he was like, yeah, he was like, I wouldn't even do that right now. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to, all of these facts, like all of these things. And he was like, your first video, your first course should actually be live. And I was like, I don't know about live. Cause I'm like, I don't do live. I'm barely on live. So y'all gonna see me on live more often. Right. And he's like, yeah, you should do it live. And he was just giving me more stuff. And I was just like, okay. And I wrote it down, but he was like, no, he was like, here, check out this person. This is the person that I learned from to create a course. And so Darius literally, so slowing down a bit, I originally thought I was just going to do a simple long video, probably like an hour video to help people, right? I shared it with Priscilla. Priscilla expanded this to a whole new ballgame, which involved me looking into other different ways of doing this. I happened to see a video of Darius, and then after that, I happened to share with Darius what I'm doing, and Darius gave me all of these tools, mechanics, guides, all of these different things to make it get better. He even pointed me in the direction of the person he learned it from. And he was like, yeah, do you remember I was telling you like a year ago, I think he said, that I was learning how to, do a course, and I completely forgot. I'm not a bad friend, I promise y'all. But he was like, I completely forgot. I'm like, okay. So he showed me this person's video, and this is going to the next person. Her name is Danielle Leslie. Now, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you may have seen a video of her. If not, she is really awesome. She actually teaches people how to create a course from scratch, which is actually the name of her business, Course from Scratch. And she just basically just does that. She teaches people how to monetize on their expertise and create a course. Even if you've never done it before, all of that. So all of the things that requires a course and then some, she teaches. Now, she is really awesome. I've seen her video. So it was a webinar Darius told me to look into. I checked into her webinar, and as I was looking into it, I have never been so excited watching a webinar. Everything she was saying was just like speaking to me. Like you would think that she was talking to me personally, because I was like, yes, oh my gosh, yes, right? Like I was just agreeing to everything she's saying, because it was just like, yes, and I just felt it. And then I was telling Darius, like as I was talking to him, I'm like, bro, I have never been so excited in my life. Now, she was just talking about a few things with, hey, if you have a podcast, if you have a this, you have a that, like those aren't necessary. But, she was just speaking to me, I'm just going to say. And it led to me actually, learning how to actually create a freaking course and the mechanics behind it and all of these other things. And then the things that she was saying was the things Darius was telling me. And so this literally just brought everything together. So it was just like, okay, I am now learning from someone who's created a course how to actually do it. And she broke it down. I took her class, still learning from her, took her class, and just been like eating it up, everything that she's saying. What's cool is the community that she has. And what's cool is that I have my friend Darius, who literally will tell me like, hey, do this, do that, or you need to redo this, or you need to look at that, or this isn't right. And I'm just like, okay, like my boy is like attacking me, but it's good. Like he is from love. Like he's attacking me with love. Like, yeah, like, not really attacking me, but I'm just using those words for myself. And as he's going through this, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. I could do this. Now, my biggest thing was, I was like, okay, I'm creating a course, but my biggest thing was merge. Like, okay, it's part of the Konnekt-000-7 platform. So that was my thing, filling into that gap of what things that were missing, like, being able to help people more instead of me just sharing a podcast with you all, which is awesome. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I also like desire to, help more people. Right. And not really help more people, but to get more in depth with connecting with people. Right. And so after learning what I learned, I even went up to Tennessee with Priscilla, and she helped me out even more with things like, I'm telling you guys, if it wasn't for her, this course wouldn't have been created. So, and hell, if it wasn't for Darius, I would have not gotten as far as I did. And if it wasn't for Danielle, I would have not known how to even go about this. So just backtracking, if you like how I started with the podcast, is one reason that people are amazing is literally they can take your idea to new levels and help you achieve them. Now, like I said, I just started off with a video, right? I talked to Priscilla, boom, expanded. I talked to Darius, boom, gave me knowledge, gave me tips, gave me gold. Then I was introduced to Danielle Leslie. Boom, gave me a complete layout on how to do it. So it's just like when you have an idea, guys, and you're sharing it with people like who you trust. Let me say that because I know you just can't share your idea with everybody. Some people's levels aren't there. Some people just aren't there. And some people ain't even supposed to be in your life, but that's a whole nother topic that we've went over many times in the podcast. And when you share with the right people, like those you're close with, who care about you, who love you, who want who desire the absolute best for you and then some, and will check you when you slip in, that I had to say that. When you're able to share your ideas with them, those people literally can take your ideas to the next level and then some, right? Now let's go on to full circle with this. Now, I actually created the course. So after looking into it and after soul searching with, okay, what's the course going to be about? Making sure it ties in with the Konnekt-000-7 platform. and many other factors, and just things with people, making sure it's actually something that people would actually want to either even enroll in and pay for, right? And something that people that would be of value to people. That was my biggest thing. Is it something that's of value to the people who are either on the platform, on the podcast already? And even if they don't listen to the podcast, if it's other people I haven't met yet, will it bring value to them? Because a lot of people just be putting up stuff out here and it's not really of value. Some things can be trash. Some things are just like, I don't know. They just want attention. That's just me. The people just be putting up stuff. But my biggest thing was of value. Does it help people? Is it even worth, whatever it is that I'm doing, right? Is it worth people's time? Is it worth people investing into this to help them, right? So I finally created the course. So I don't know if this was months in the making. I feel like longer, but months in the making. And the course was finally created. So here's what it is. So the name of the course is called Find Yourself in 6 Weeks. Gain confidence, happiness, direction, and get back on track with your life. So why that? Why that title, right? Like, I've come to find, even with the podcast of helping people get connected, there were individuals who I have come across in life. And I should tell you guys, I was going to do the age of like just 18 to 30. But a lot of things have changed because there have been people who I have talked with regardless of age. There are people who are twice my age, who could be like my grandparents. There are people who could be the age of my parents, people who are younger than me, people who are in my age group, those who may be even a few years older than me. I've come to discover that there are people in different areas of their life who are just really lost, right? And I've just come across it, and I noticed that it would build up, people would just either be lost or they would just be stuck. And sometimes I've come to find that there are a lot of people who are really unhappy. Like, they'll be positive, don't get me wrong, but they're not really happy. And I've come across like a lot of people who are just unhappy. And now this isn't me attacking them or nothing like that, but it was just something that I observed. And I'm the type, if there's something that I notice or there's a quote unquote challenge or problem that I see, I feel like it's my responsibility to do something about it because I'm the one who's constantly seeing it. That's just me. Now, I decided, okay, let's create a course on that, helping those people find themselves, and it not being something that's super long, something that you don't have to go on a whole spiritual retreat for, something that you don't have to spend $1,000 on a plane ticket just to go, I don't know, to some place, to some woods and find yourself with some guru or spiritual person teacher, I don't know, and you just go separate yourself from the world and for like months at a time in the woods, right? And find yourself. Don't get me wrong, some people may need to do that, but I was just like, yeah, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep this simple. Everybody has lives. People have different things that they're doing. And so I was like, let's work on creating this in 6 weeks. My biggest thing with this, which actually I'm actually going to tell you the goal of it, but my biggest thing with this was really to take my expertise on this and help people. Now, you may be wondering, well, what do you mean your expertise? And obviously, it's a podcast all about helping people connect with themselves, right? So my area of expertise usually is people. And I have, it never fails. There's always either a person, a group of people, sometimes a family, where somebody in there is going through something and I'm ended up helping them, right? And I've had multiple people a year ask me, have you ever done therapy? Have you ever thought of looking into therapy? Have you ever thought of doing psychology? You would be really good at it. And I was just like, no. And I would just kind of get away from that, which I'm coming to find a lot of people will ask you different things. And I don't know, I find myself doing the things that people were telling me I should do. I'm like, I don't know, it's weird. And so I was just like, I have helped people since I was like younger, helping them like find themselves, because like you guys hear me talk about this whole intuition of mine. It's my intuition would literally just tell me different things about people. You talk with me, I start to see things. It just happens. Heck, your ancestors, yeah, I don't know, family members, whoever will start coming to me when we're talking, and I just see things, and it's just like, you may tell me a problem that you're going through, and I'll either see the solution or see something with your energy, and it's just, oh, have you ever thought of this? And I just ask you a question. It ain't nothing weird. It ain't one of those, let me see your hand, darling. I'm gonna read your hand. I need you to get these bones. I need you to shake them 3 times a day. When you like, nothing weird. It's just simple conversation, and people would just talk to with me, and I would just pick up things. And one of the things that I'm very grateful about is that people literally trust me, and they literally open up to me and just tell me things about themselves. And I never take that for granted at all. And it's just really cool, because that's, for me, it's very fun. I get to connect with people on a different level. And as you all know, my gift is connection. So putting all of that into a course, right, to help people, and then some, that was my biggest thing. So that, okay, we hear this. You're creating a course, but what's your goal with this? What's your goal? So I was really thinking when I was doing this whole aspect of it, my goal is literally just to help individuals find themselves so that they can transform from lost, stuck, and unhappy to individuals who are on track with their life and just radiating with confidence, happiness, and a clear sense of direction. Because I've come across people who literally, they don't really have a clear sense of direction. And I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but I feel like that's when you need to really connect with someone who already has direction, and they can maybe help you with it, right? And then there's some people I've come across when I was doing the research for this. I was asking a few people, and I've learned that self-confidence actually holds people back when it comes to finding themselves. Another thing is that some people just, they're just not happy. So when you're not happy, sometimes you don't have the motivation or the energy to do things. I've come across that, with this course, sometimes not even finding yourself is a priority for some people, or just other things with just like doubts and fears and worries, and where the heck do I even begin finding myself? Or I should have been able to do this forever ago, right? Or, something, right? Some people, and the thing is too, is helping people really just like get back on track with their life, right? You may mean, what do you mean by get back on track? I've come to find that when you're not like living in your purpose and going with your gift, you're really not on track. That's just what I have come to find with other people. When you're not following your gift and you're not like on your purpose, you're off track. You can debate me on that. You can fight me on that, whatever. But that's just the things that I have come across in my experience when people are on it. And some people may think they are on track, and come to find that they really just, just got a few more months, days, or years for them to learn the lesson that they need to learn. And then they come back and it's like, yeah, this isn't actually what I was looking forward to. And then you come back, well, yeah, this is why you did it. And so these were just some of the things that I have just accumulated accumulated and experienced with seeing with other people that I've connected with. Now, that is literally like the reason, like, and then some of why I decided to create a course. I love people. I love connecting with people. It is super, super amazing for me. And not only that, but taking the time to be able to like help other people. Right now, I'm super excited about this, and I'm so excited I was able to share. So with the course, so it's a new course that I have created, and I'm literally looking to help 6 people at the moment. 6 people at the moment. So the course will begin actually October 29th of this month. Like I said in the announcement, the enrollment is open to the 28th. So that is a Monday. So the 29th is a Tuesday. Now, it's an online course, so distance is not a problem at all. So some of you who I know who listen to the podcast, everybody's everywhere who listens to the podcast. I have people in the States. I have people in England, Australia, people now in South America, pretty much every part of the continent. Every time I look on there, it's been growing, and I'm very grateful for that, literally. So there's people all across the world who listen to the podcast. So my thing was like, okay, online is the best, and it's going to be a small, intimate setting, nothing crazy. I like that. Now, the reason why I even did an online course and just only doing 6 people at the moment is because literally I just want people to be able to get like personal feedback from me, guidance, and support from me. That can be really hard when you got 50 plus people. You know what I mean? Keeping it super simple, keeping it limited to 6 people. That's like my biggest thing, to be able to give people those what they need. Also, a little bonus, you'll actually have access to this intuition that you all hear me talk about so much on the podcast. So there's that. Now, I know some of you are like, okay, Thad, this is great. I love this. I'm excited for this. You should have been did this. Where were you, yesterday? Where were you 3 years ago when this happened? Like, you should have been done this, right? Okay, so forgive me. I'm sorry. I was still learning my god dang self, right? Now, for those who are interested, so this is what we're going to do. Hear me clearly. For those who are interested, book an appointment with me on the link that I have in the description below. And we're going to see if the course is a right fit for you. Now, it'll be a 20-minute phone call where I just ask you some questions. So there's like no coaching or anything on that. It's just purely to see if it's a right fit for you. Now, if it is, then, we'll go on there to get you started on the course and whatnot. So I'm super excited to speak with you all, literally. So just go on, like I said, go on the link, book an appointment, and then we're going to go from there. Because there have been people I've talked with a little bit before I announced it on the podcast who have been asking me about the course. And here you are. I'm letting you all know first because of the platform and because of me desire to help other people. Let's do this. And for those of you who possibly get in a little bit later after the 6th, don't worry. I'm pretty sure that I will have another opening in enrollment time for the course, and it'd be more improved. yes, that is that whole thing on today's episode with just this whole course. Like, literally, because of the people that I mentioned in this podcast, they took this idea of simply creating a little video into creating a huge course and then some. Now, I want you guys to just take a moment to just really imagine, what idea do you have right now? What idea have you just been holding in your mind for a little bit and you haven't really done much about it? It's been a few months, maybe a year, maybe 5 years, and you haven't really done nothing, and it's just been sitting in your mind. Or maybe you wrote it down, right? But think about it. Just really think about it. Like, for real. Pause life for a minute. But if you're driving, don't stop driving, because I ain't trying to get you. I don't, we ain't trying to have those issues. But really just take a moment and ask yourself, okay, I have this idea. Who is it that I trust and I care about that I can share this with? Who I know if I share this, we could take it to a whole new level and then some. Really think about that. Because if I did not share this idea, none of this would have been created. None of this would have happened. I would have never been able to accept the blessings of these amazing people who are in my life. And you just be very surprised when you're doing something really huge and it's a big idea. You'll be very happy that people are very interested and are very happy to actually help you succeed. You actually attract more support and then some from people. A lot of people say, oh, people don't care about people. People don't try to help people. People are negative. And I tell people, you just around the wrong people. That's just what it is. You're around the wrong individuals. Because I know the people that I'm around, if there's an idea that I have friends who literally ask, how can they help me? And I have some friends who will volunteer. And it took me some time to just say, oh, yeah, sure. Because, y'all know the whole, took me some time to receiving. But when you have a really amazing idea and it's really good and it's going to be of value to a lot of people and not just yourself, you will be very surprised that people would like to be a part of it to help you help other people. And that's really what it's all about, helping other people, guys. So just think about it. What idea do you have that can really help people? Who can you share it with? And when you do, I guarantee you it's going to be much bigger than what you expected. And it's going to allow you to go to different areas. It's going to help you grow because, boy, y'all don't know. Y'all really don't know. And I ain't sure all of that, but in the learning how to do all this course and the stuff like that, the stresses and the time and the this, that, and the others, we're probably going to say that for another time. That's probably going to be, in a success talk or something because, boy, all of y'all do. But I'm just saying, when you have those people who help you and they have experience and expertise and knowledge in areas that you don't, the things that you guys can create and do together is literally ridiculous. Like, get y'all some people. Get y'all some good people. Now, that is it for this segment of the podcast, right? That's it for that. That might be long, but that was it. So now let's actually get into the Health is Wealth segment. And today's topic on the Health is Wealth segment is going to be grounding, or otherwise known as earthing. And you're probably like, what? What is that? What the heck are you talking about? So basically, sinking your bare toes into wet grass, dirt, sand, or water is known as earthing or grounding. So when skin comes into contact with the ground, the human body becomes a sponge that soaks up negatively charged electrons from the earth. Now, I'm going to pause right here. Some of y'all are like, you want me to go outside barefoot? That's dirty. We did that when we were younger and we didn't know about it. That's dirty. Like, no, that's disgusting. I remember when I first heard that, I was like, dog poop, glass, dirt. That's just unclean. That's just not clean. No, that's okay. That's cute. That's cute for you all. Not really. That's not even cute. That's something. But y'all can keep that. That's not for me. And then I actually, got some common sense knocked into me a little bit. And I was like, you know what? Hey, your ancestors did it. And we come to find out that there's a lot of things our ancestors was doing. And we kind of get back to there. But my ancestors did it, right? And then you come to find that there's actually benefits to what they were doing. So there was that for those people who are like, yeah, that's dirty, Thad. But no, actually, you get over that because there's a lot of other things that we do that's dirty, but we ain't gonna go in there. That's inappropriate. That's not. This ain't the podcast for that, But so why is this important that we ground ourselves? So we're gonna go scientific here for you all. We're going to go scientific. We're going to bring y'all back into science class. But don't come to me as a science teacher because y'all will not get the information that y'all need from me. Go to a professional. So we're going to take y'all to science class. I'm going to be the substitute teacher. And this is what the teacher said. All our cells are made of atoms. Atoms possess unique positive and negative charges that are based on the number of negative electrons or positive protons they carry. Many healthy atoms have a negative charge because they possess more electrons. However, these atoms can have electrons stolen from them, leaving them highly reactive and damaging. In this state, they are called free radicals. As damaging free radicals infiltrate cells and tissues, our health declines. The only way to stop this destructive process is by supplying the body with neutralizing antioxidants or a large dose of negative electrons through grounding, right? Now, some of y'all who pass science like that, like, okay, well, duh, that we knew that, and the other side of y'all who are kind of like, I'm like over there with y'all, like, oh, okay, I guess that sounds important, but what the heck is free radicals? Like that kind of sound like it's good because it's free, but like, what is that? So let's actually talk about that. So grounding, two benefits. Grounding neutralizes the free radicals, as we just heard. But what are free radicals? So free radicals are generated through inflammation, infection, cell damage, trauma, stress, and our toxic environment. So that's like, the technology, electromagnetic fields, all that stuff that kind of throws our things off, right? and a bunch of other crazy stuff that's just like around us. So that's how free radicals are just generated, right? And they force our immune system to respond to these threats. So an active immune system produces more free radicals, and soon our body is attempting to put out fires, right? So grounding is simple, inexpensive means by which most of us can combat these destructive forces. The negative electrons absorbed from the earth quenches the free radicals, it supports the immune system, and puts out the fires. What the heck does that mean? That because you're using words that are new to us, we don't really know much about that. What are you talking about? So basically, like when you go out into the world and you stressing and you already being around people who smoke, you're surrounded by technology, you pretty much are wearing rubber shoes that are kind of blocking you from absorbing all of that from the ground. You already kind of going through some pain, some inflammation, some of the things you eat, and we gonna go too deep into that. But basically, yeah, you live in life can be stressful, and then you live in life with all this technology around you, throwing your magnetic fields and all that stuff. It's just throwing you off. It's throwing you off. So in a way to combat that, so it's not really messing with you, just go take your shoes off, take your socks off, and go step outside in some grass. Look out for things, but step in the grass. If you're by the beach, go out by the beach, step in the sand, get your feet wet in the ocean. You out really good in nature, by all means, go in the grass. I don't know about y'all in the desert. Maybe you can go in the desert when it's a little sunset and ain't too hot. Do that, but basically just go outside barefoot. That's basically what that means, and it's going to help you tremendously. Now, the second benefit is that apparently grounding improves sleep, pain management, and stress. So grounding, okay. So it appears to improve sleep, help manage pain, and normalizes cortisol, a stress hormone, to reduce the stress response. The nervous system is an electrical system of the body and influences all of these activities. An influx of negative electrons from the earth has been shown to calm the nervous system by shifting the autonomic nervous system from the sympathetic fight or flight branch toward the parasympathetic rest and digest branch, right? So basically what that means is if y'all having a problem with sleep, a little bit of pain management, and some stress, you basically take your shoes off, your socks off, and go walk outside in nature. And that's what you do. Do that for about 15, 20 minutes and then some. However long until you feel, I feel like all the shits that I dealt with, they're being reduced, right? That's when you do it. So that is actually the health is wealth. Now, for some of you all, you're probably wondering, okay, Thad, you saying this, but are you doing it? I will not lie to you. I personally don't do it too often, though I do meditate and that kind of helps me. But when I do go outside and I am going to the beach, I always just love to take my shoes off and slides or sandals and socks and really just walk out on the beach. It really does just feel really, really good. It's just something about that. It just feels good. I personally don't do it around my house because, outside the house because I have a dog and you already know what that means. I don't got time for that issue. And there are parks around here, but most of the time I'm like running or walking. So I'm on the sidewalk, which I actually like being on the grass. It's just better for the legs and all that. But I personally do it when I'm at the beach. That's when I do it. I actually have a friend of mine. She's in California and she does it all the time. Actually, it's just very regular. In fact, like she goes hiking barefooted. And I was just like, wow. I was like, I got to give it to you because my feet are soft. So I step on a rock and it feels like death. So for you to go out hiking, I give it to you. But that came with practice. She does it and she loves it. Like her vibrations are always high and she's amazing. So for some of you all who probably going through some of these things, it may be good for you to just go out grounding. And with that being said, guys, that is pretty much it for this podcast. And I'm just super excited for you all. So like I said, if you guys have, number one, an idea, share it with somebody. who goes through the qualifications, like I said, share it with somebody. Number 2, if you're interested in the course, by all means, click on the link below and let's just get you in here. And then number 3, go out and ground. Why not? Bless yourself. And with that being said, guys, that is it for this podcast. I will speak with you all actually on social media, because I'm actually about to hop on a video. So I will be speaking with you all on social media very soon. And the next podcast will be Friday, as you know it. So with that being said, guys, you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.